The United Nations has declared 2024 as International Year of Camelids. The UN has designated 2024 as the International Year of Camelids. The year is meant to raise the public's and policymakers' awareness of the significant role of camelids in protecting ecosystems, conserving biodiversity, assuring food security, and adapting to climate change. The year will highlight how camelids are key to the livelihoods of millions of households in hostile environments across over 90 countries, particularly indigenous peoples and local communities. What are camelids? Referred to as the heroes of the deserts and highlands, for they can survive the toughest of the climates, they live in over 90 countries and are crucial to the livelihoods of millions. Camelids are members of the biological family Camelidae, the only currently living family in the suborder Tylopoda, which have two-toed feet with toenails and soft footpads. The seven members of these group are dromedary camels, Bactrian camels, wild Bactrian camels, llamas, alpacas, vicunias, and guanacos. Why camelids? From alpacas to Bactrian camels, dromedaries, guanacos, llamas, and vicunias, camelids are an important source of livelihood for millions of families, most of them pastoralists in dryland and mountainous rangeland ecosystems around the world. They contribute to food security, nutrition, and economic growth, as well as holding a strong cultural and social significance for communities across the world. Camelids play an important role in advancing the SDGs related to fight against hunger, eradication of extreme poverty, empowerment of women, and sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems. Camelids thrive where other livestock species cannot survive. They play a key role in the culture, economy, food security, and livelihoods of communities in the Andean highlands and in the arid and semi arid lands in Africa and Asia, including indigenous people. Types. The Bactrian camel has two humps on the back. The largest living camelid is able to adapt to both climates of the desert and semi desert regions. It can travel for long periods of time without food or water by using the fat stored in the humps and turning it into energy. Wild Bactrian camels, however, are a separate species only found in the remote desert areas between China and Mongolia. Like all other camelids, they are a sturdy and resilient creature, providing nutritious food and fiber. The dromedary camel. The one humped camel is distinguished by its long curved neck and narrow chest. It has difficulty traveling through mountainous regions, which is why it is referred to as a camel of the plains and found in Africa and Asia. It can travel vast distances, surviving long periods without water. The llama. It is a tall, horse shaped animal with a short tail, ears are rather long and slightly curved inward like bananas. There are 4 million of these today, with half of them found in Bolivia. Yarn made from their fibers is light but will keep you exceptionally warm. It is an integral part of the identity of many cultures and societies. The alpaca. An alpaca has a long neck and legs and no top front teeth. They have soft and padded feet so that they don't damage the grasses that feed them. Spanning back to the pre-Hispanic times, the alpacas and llamas were the main working animals and also provided fiber and meat to the communities. The alpacas and llamas are the only South American camelids to have been domesticated. The guanaco. They are one of the largest terrestrial wild animals in South America and can be identified by the slender body and large pointed ears. Their coat color does not vary much, changing from only a light to a dark shade of brown. These are speedy creatures able to run from the predators, with a maximum speed touching about 35 miles an hour, which is almost as fast as a tiger. The vicuña. The vicuña is the national animal of Peru. Its fiber is considered one of the finest in the world. They live in cold temperatures and regardless of the thin wool because their body traps the sun's heat during the daytime and keeping it warm throughout the night. Vicuñas, like the other South American camelids, are also called New World camelids and are considered unique indigenous mammals from the continent. The Bactrian and dromedary camels are culturally and socially significant in the arid and semi arid lands of Africa and Asia. The vicunias, llamas, alpacas, and guanacos are a spiritual and cultural part of indigenous peoples and local communities' identities in the Andean highlands. Who declares international years? The United Nations designates specific days, weeks, years, and decades as occasions to mark particular events or topics in order to promote, through awareness and action, the objectives of the organization. Usually, it is one or more member states that propose these observances, and the General Assembly establishes them with a resolution. These celebrations are also declared by specialized agencies of the United Nations, such as UNESCO, UNICEF, FAO, etc., when they concern issues that fall within the scope of their competencies. The UNGA. The United Nations General Assembly is the main policy making organ of the organization. It provides a unique forum for multilateral discussion of the full spectrum of international issues covered by the Charter of the United Nations. The UNGA also makes key decisions for the UN, including appointing the Secretary General on the recommendation of the Security Council, electing the non permanent members of the Security Council, and approving the UN budget. It discusses specific issues through dedicated agenda items or sub items which lead to adoption of resolutions.